Hello. Welcome back to the What If Show. This is where we answer hypothetical questions, scenarios, would you rathers, and anything that really comes to mind. I'm Max.
I'm Summer.
I'm Lee. Luca.
And I'm Lee.
Yeah, sorry. That wasn't the intro.
Yeah, I know.
Oh well.
We all make mistakes.
True.
So, without further ado,
We're all back for another disastrous
we're all
week.
back and we're ready
Let's
to do
get to it.
all over again.
Go on, Max. You pick one first. You got the doc up?
Okay.
Go on.
Number one. What if cars had feelings?
This is a very strange one to start with. Well, mine would absolutely hate me. The amount of curbs I bash it into.
And bad parking.
And my horrendous parking. I really think me and mine would fall out big time.
Would Mini Coopers be like the shy, timid ones, and Lamborghinis be like top class? Like,
Chess.
do you know what I'm saying?
Like snobby cars.
Yeah. Like, well, snobby, like Land Rovers are like the proper like bulky, like big hench people. You know, like would the way the car looks, like, you know, you get those really awful like pink Beetles with eyelashes. Would they be like the proper like Essex girl types?
Oh, I think my mum had one of them.
That's what I mean. Like, would they be the way they look? I think that's what I think. Or like,
That's awful.
you know those awful cars that have three wheels. They would literally be like
Rubbish.
the shrivelly bottom pile of
the
society.
shrivelly bottom pile. The shrivelly bottom pile of society. Well, my mum had a VW Beetle that looked exactly like the car from Noddy.
Oh.
And we used to call it the Noddy car. So I'm pretty sure
That's quite a good one.
I'm pretty sure that car would be like, just send me for scrap, please.
Please, I've had enough.
Please,
Like
I've
the old
had
cars
enough.
be like,
Yeah.
don't turn me back on again.
I think rental cars would be quite depressed because they're just getting used all the time.
Oh.
Like unhomed puppies, you know.
Oh dear.
Well, it's the tiniest violin.
Like, think they have a family and then they don't. They leave them all over again.
Oh, being driven. Oh, and then they see them going off with a new model, you know.
Like the unadopted cars.
But then would it just be cars, or would like buses and like I think buses would be like the labour workers. So you know those like really gritty, dirty builders and stuff you see walk around. That'd be like the buses and the coaches, and the things like the diggers, like the people. Because I think like you are your car. I think your personality kind of is your car. So if you've got one of those
Get
cars,
a T-shirt saying that.
if you have one of those cars that has eyelashes and all that, then you're probably like quite like, oh my god, you're out, babe. You're out, babe. Do you want to come for a ride in my car? That stuff, you know.
This would be like a really good.
Like what you're like, Wes.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Can you imagine? Like, it'd be like a really good plot to a film. Imagine like a film about
No, I don't think
cars
so.
that could speak.
I don't think that would be a good film
And
actually.
had emotions in that.
No.
I haven't seen one like that before.
No.
What
I
do they
think
call it?
Steven Spielberg, if you're listening.
Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Spiel.
Cars with feelings or something. That'd be good.
If you're listening, which I no doubt you are.
Steven Spielberg is not listening.
It could be.
Perhaps.
He could be.
The What If Show, the movie.
Right, enough arguing. Next.
Yeah.
Summer.
Oh Christ, I'm on the spot now. Right, okay. Alright, on the topic of films then, what if they ran out of film ideas? Now I have a theory that this is already kind of happening because everything at the moment is like a remake. So you're quite the avid film watcher, aren't you, Luca? So I feel like, yes, you are, Luca.
Enjoys a
So
film or two.
I feel like you're one of the more justified opinions of this.
Thank
So
you.
what if they ran out of film ideas?
Thank you. I'm the specialist that's been brought in for this episode. Yes, it's true. I do dabble in the film watching scene. Well, the thing is, like, there's always people that do things to make films about. Like, I'm pretty sure there's about 10 different things that have happened in the week that you could make a film about. But like you said, it's whether it's necessary or not. So a film just come out, directed by Clint Eastwood, called The 1517 to Paris, and it's about, don't quote me on it. It's about an event, I think like a terrorist attack or something that happened on a train, and it got really bad reviews because everyone's saying it's a 2-hour film about a 5-minute event. And I think if they started running out of film ideas, like you said, it's already starting to happen. They're just making these really over-the-top long films about such small events. You know, there's already been so many films about things that have happened before. I mean, I think everything would just be remakes. I mean, it would take centuries because there's so much source material. There's so many books and comics. But I guess it's what popular, because soon, you know, once you've done every single Marvel comic and every single popular book, you just start getting into like the unpopular books. And if they start running out of film ideas, then who's to say they don't run out of book ideas or television show ideas?
It's like, because loads of things happen in history, don't they? So like a war could happen or an event could happen or something. It just triggers a new like platform for it, doesn't it? So
I guess it's just about like, because there's so many books about the same historical event and it's just that person's interpretation of it. So obviously there's so many films about World War II as well, and it's just the directors, what story they want to tell. You know, it could be about a real person or a soldier or a certain battalion or, you know, just something like that. So I think like I just realised we're not even talking about what if they ran out of film ideas. What if they did run out of film ideas?
Or they could just make Alvin and the Chipmunks 5.
Yeah. If they run out of film ideas, then
Simple, innit?
everyone would be bored.
Simps.
The end.
The end.
Everyone-
Thanks, Luca.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Well, I think we sort of turned that question on the head, that it would be like pretty impossible to run out of film ideas, because obviously
Yeah.
different things happen every day, and obviously there's going to be a lot more
Exactly.
future/history to come. So
I mean, if they did run out of film ideas, that would just be one industry dead, and loads of people would like. I mean, they honestly, cinemas would probably just make more profit of showing popular films. Like, I don't know why cinemas don't do that already. Like, I know they do it for like special, 25th anniversary and that. But if cinemas just showed like really popular films more often, that just come out, then I think they'd make more money. So if the head distributor of Cineworld is listening, you're right, mate.
All right, mate.
Show more classic films.
Okay, do we feel like we've had a good chat?
That was very. What's in the sense of if?
I'd like to take you on a journey now.
Okay.
okay.
Is that okay with you?
Let's go for it.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, it's the space sound effect again.
You're not meant to be self-autonomous and say every single. It's like his audio description. What if?
Ginger Tomcat.
What if space travel wasn't a thing?
Max puts his face to the microphone and speaks. He laughs and picks up some cables.
What if space travel wasn't a thing?
What if space travel wasn't a thing?
Is that like travelling to the moon, or am I being really
Yeah, no,
thick?
like generally like any travel
Like travel in space?
In space.
Yeah, I guess going
Right,
to the moon as
okay.
well, yeah.
Well, it's not really that much of a thing at the moment, is it? Like, they haven't really got that far.
No,
To be-
Like, realistically, they
Yeah,
haven't done a very
yeah,
good job,
yeah,
have they? They've
that
got
is-
to the moon. Like,
Well done, mate.
yeah, like there's so much to space to consider. So what if space travel wasn't a
That's why it's
thing?
called space.
Like, obviously, scientific wise and experiment wise, we'd be a lot further behind. But what are the actual benefits at the moment of space travel, apart from more understanding of gravity and the lack of it in space?
See
I-
where like habitable life can be like held. So
Yeah, I know.
So, like if Earth becomes like overpopulated, which it will, then like at the moment they're like researching on Mars and stuff, aren't they?
I know, but they're not doing a very good job at it. They haven't found anywhere.
It's not easy, is it? It's
No,
not like-
exactly.
It's not turning on a TV.
But I don't know. I don't
They
know.
launched a car into space. the other day, didn't
Elon
they?
Musk's,
Elon
yes,
Musk.
the Tesla Roadster. You're right about experiments. I mean, the way I see it is, hear me out. We're still in the early steps of space travel, and if space travel is being developed now, for the fact that we will have to move planet eventually. Imagine in 2,000 years when we've had 2,000 years of space travel and the Earth is starting to become uninhabitable. We'll have all the technology and the research, decades and centuries of research to help us. But if there was no space travel, then by the time that the Earth was like beginning to become uninhabitable, everyone would be like, well,
Oh, bother.
oh, what do we do?
bother.
Oh, bother.
It's the same thing as like, what did we talk about in our initial podcast? We talked
Was it
about
if everything had been explored? If everything had been explored.
it was something like that, but it was like, well, of course it's going to be like, if space travel wasn't a thing, like, wouldn't it just at some point become a thing?
Yeah, but this is
the evolution of man.
This is the branch of
And all that.
This is the branch of the whole if X wasn't a thing question. It means, does that mean that no one will ever understand or even think, like if triangles weren't a thing, would no one know the concept of it? Or what? I mean, I guess it's just a world where no one bothered enough. Like, everyone's like, okay, that's space, but I'm not really bothered about getting up there.
So is that really like the purpose of space travel then? To, in essence, find a future for
It's just-
those who are on
No,
Earth?
because it's more like 'cause
It's like
no
the
one
science of
understands
it,
Like,
yeah.
there's a lot more like you can like
It's like deep
discover
sea.
out there. There's like things you can't like discover like here. Like you test like lots of things out there. Like it's
like deep sea exploration.
like finding like why are we here, like sort of
Yeah.
thing, isn't it as well?
And it's all the different conditions as well, because as far as we know, there's all life on Earth, and everything on Earth you can find anywhere in the universe, and that's still true. They send probes to Mars, and they send probes to comets and asteroids that fly past, and everything's made up of the same materials. And I think it's just for scientists to understand. I mean, just from 100 years of space travel, and even before that, because people were like observing the stars like thousands of years. Obviously, that isn't space travel, but in essence, we've managed to find out that the universe is 15 billion years old, and the Earth is like 4 billion years old, and the furthest away object is this, and just so many different interesting things. And to us, it's subjective. It's like that doesn't affect any of us. It doesn't affect
like,
you.
what benefit?
Yeah, what benefit is it that we know this knowledge? But from a scientist's point of view, there's a lot more that goes into the research, and they do a lot of like when I went to the moon, testing the gravity.
You're talking from personal experience then.
Yeah, when I went to
when
the moon.
Luca Di Maio went to the moon.
Wouldn't you want to like know about it though? Like,
No.
It's like why?
People
This
do.
is
You
like-
want to just sit here on Earth, not know anything, not know.
Yeah, just
You want to know like where like we come from, what all this.
Yeah, I think there's a fascination.
I think it's such a broad question though. Like, what does it matter in the scheme of things? Whether you know or not know, you're here now.
That with anything. Why does it?
But then I think it's but then things start to affect us. Like, I don't know. There's just so many things that go on the planet that I think we don't know about as a collective. I'm sure there are things that scientists know about that they're working on now. It's just things like, I don't know, like things like global warming and you know, like how the moon controls the tides and earthquakes and asteroid impact. There's so many things that we wouldn't be able to know how to prepare with. And in fact, that's the thing. If space travel didn't exist, the International Space Station wouldn't exist, which means that we would have no view of the Earth from space. We wouldn't be able to look at. Would there be weather satellites if there wasn't space travel, or would we still send things up to space?
Still be satellites.
But there'll be none in the International Space Station. So all that stuff, like what it's like living in low gravity. I mean, again, I don't see why we need to know that. And you've started to make me think somewhere like.
Why? What a waste of money this all is.
What a waste of money.
Everything's got to start somewhere, isn't it? Like when like the first like house was made. Like,
Why do we need to live here? We just live in a tent.
Yeah, true.
At some point, like it's going to need to be like done, isn't it?
I just think it's like one of those necessary things that, like I said, will benefit us in like a few thousand years when we inevitably will have to move planet.
What do you think, Max?
Well, that's depressing, Luca. I'd rather stay on Earth.
Yeah, but that won't affect us because we won't be here.
That is actually one of the other questions on the Google
No,
Docs.
you
yeah.
don't.
Or what if we live to? What if we never die, like such and such said?
Can I try
Mm.
something? Can I try something new? Can I do a little connection thing? So we're going to connect this to a would you rather while we still have the space thing on. Would you rather be part of the first civilization on another planet or never be able to leave Earth? Why did you start the space music? You started it again.
It's not that long.
Oh, yeah. So on the topic of if space travel didn't exist, would you rather be part of the first civilization on a new planet, or would you just never or never leave the Earth?
Never leave the Earth.
Never leave the Earth.
Really?
Because if you're imagine what that's going to be like. Like everything's going to be like really rubbish. Like it's just going to be like habitable. Like I mean, the plans for like the Mars one. Have you seen that?
Is it like 100 people?
But I
in
thought
it?
Mars was
Like,
inhabitable.
really
Uninhabitable. The
No, but I
the
think
no
it's
version of
talk-
habitable.
I thought they were making it habitable, like Elon
Yeah,
Musk,
they
isn't he
are.
trying to make it?
Yeah, they're taking little bags
habitable?
of air.
Like there's like plans for it.
Earth
It's
Air.
like you can see,
Tesco
like,
bag.
How they're going to have water.
Other
and stuff,
supermarkets are available.
like, a farm and all that.
Is that the film The Martian? That's a good one.
You wouldn't have no.
I've watched
like,
it.
Have
Good.
you? It's a good film.
Netflix or anything. You
No
wouldn't have, like,
Netflix.
YouTube or.
I don't want to go there. No
Go
Netflix.
up
I'm
there.
not going anywhere. No.
I ain't moving.
Last week or two, I saw a film called Downsizing, and it's pretty much the same concept. It's kind of like, you know, the world's getting overpopulated. Everyone needs to be shrunk down to cope with the space of the Earth. It's like quite far in the future, and then this thing starts happening where the world is basically going to end anyway soon. So they all go to this new civilization that's like deeper in the Earth because they're all so small they can live there, and it's kind of like, oh no, it's not inevitable, but it's like in the next 100 years, and it's like, do I want to stay here where it won't really affect me, or do I want to move to this brand new civilization and be part of something brand new? So it would essentially be, do you want to stay in your life as it is now and maybe like die with the planet, or just live a normal life, or go and live in the world's first, well, not the world's first, that world's first new civilization?
Don't know. It's a hard one. I'd quite like to stick with status quo. Like stick with what you know.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
You'd go
Other
down
High
in
School Musical
history, like
tracks
to
are
be like
available.
the first part of civilization on another planet. Like you think the amount that you discover, like you'd be in
Yeah.
the history books forever, surely.
It'd be like going back though, wouldn't it?
Mm.
Like, because you wouldn't have anywhere near as much stuff as you do now.
But I think they'd send a select group of people. Like I can't
yeah.
imagine they'd send the
any of
presenters
us.
of the What If show. Like you four seem all right. Let's stick you on another planet.
You
and
seem like sound guys.
yeah, like you seem all right. You get on well. We're gonna stick you on another planet and see how you get on.
Kinda
Like,
stuck
it's
a
gonna like the like
Reality show.
In essence, it would never be like one of us unless
who kno-
one of us turns
knows?
to space specialists.
Who knows? We could be in space right now for all of this sound
Well,
effects.
we are in
We
space.
are, technically.
The Earth is in space, Max. What do you mean?
Oh yeah.
I had an idea for a reality
The Earth
show.
is in
On
space.
that bombshell.
I'm a celebrity. Get me off of here. Coming in 20 minutes.
On that bombshell, on that delightful bombshell, we're going to go to a bit of music.
I'm a
Because
celebrity. Get me off of
straight
here.
from the calm, soothing voices of the presenters of the What If Show to Cage the Elephant. This is In One Ear on UOP Victory Radio. We'll be back very soon. Hello, welcome back. Okay, this is the What If Show here on Victory Radio. We're going to kick off with a Would You Rather. Gang?
What one did you pick, Luca? Do you remember now? What one was
No,
it?
we did it. Be part of the first civilization. Okay, would you rather? Someone, do you know what?
I've got one.
Go on, Max.
Go on, Max.
Would
I
you
thought
rather?
it was you that was going to introduce it.
I
I don't
just said
remember
I
now.
said, gang, are you ready?
Right,
I didn't
okay, I
say,
thought you were just
"Are
passing it over
ready?"
to us. Yes, we are ready.
Would you rather have to say everything that comes to mind or never say anything
God.
ever again?
What if you're someone that overthinks quite a lot?
Yeah. And like the first thing to come to mind is completely irrelevant to the situation. Like, is not the case at all.
Just a lot of gibberish. I don't think it's possible to speak about so many things at once.
I mean, I tell you everything that comes to my mind.
Yes.
Not a good thing, though.
No.
Not a good thing.
Yeah, but you telling me is a lot different to telling the person that you're talking about to me.
I think I'd have to say never speak because I'd never get to sleep.
Never speak.
Never go to sleep.
Yeah,
in the night time, like it's just.
You would never.
So essentially, it's just like really, really bad Tourette's.
So it's nothing about opinions. It's genuine. Oh, it kind of is. It's just genuinely just what comes to your head at different points of the day.
That's what Tourette's
Oh
is, isn't it?
dear.
Oh, no. What if
that's
you
a no.
someone and, like, you so and so and
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. Oh.
I'm gonna give that a miss.
Speak anything, we can do the what if show.
Oh, and that would be a disaster.
It'd be the sign language show. Like.
I'm gonna
Fancy.
give say everything that comes to mind a miss, because I think some things of people which I really should not say out loud,
Especially on the radio.
especially on the
I wouldn't
radio.
want to hear your opinions about everything either, to be honest. I mean, you chat a lot as it is, so I wouldn't want to hear your voice any more than I do at this point in time. I'd say
Thank you so much.
Lee's probably the straightest talker, but even still, I feel like you keep a lot to yourself.
I am reformed.
You are a reformed straight talker.
Formed character.
I speak fast enough as it is, so imagine me speaking about.
Oh my
I never
goodness,
stop. I
Luke,
never stop.
you would never stop talking.
So I think for the benefit of everyone, I would just not speak again. But
No,
imagine that.
We do all love Luca, but it's when you're coming home after, I mean, you don't even know this, after a 14-hour day, like a 6-hour shoot, and me and Max are in the front of the car, we're driving along the M27, and we've both got piercing headaches, and Luca's
remember
in the back of the car, sort of hanging over the middle seat, as me and Max in the front. Now, Max is banging his head on the table, the periscope is down the seat,
Yeah,
so
sorry guys, you can't see
you
that.
can't quite witness, and I don't think Luca even took a breath. And it got to the point where me and Max weren't even responding, but nothing stopped him from the moment we left where we were shooting to the moment I dropped Luca at his door. I don't even think I said goodbye.
No, we dropped Luca off and then shut the door and we both went, ah!
So I feel like you do that to a certain extent already, Lucas. I don't know how much of a change it would really be.
Well,
There's only so much you can say to people.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
if you said
known-
everything that come to mind.
Yeah, of course. Like,
I was known as a chatterbox in secondary school. Apparently, according to my dad, I don't know if this is true, I started speaking from when I was 6 months old. Is that possible for a baby?
oh, I don't know.
Proper speaking.
So you were annoying
like,
since
started-
day
that started,
dot.
like, that's
Annoying
what,
since
that's
day
what my
dot.
dad tells me. Like, not like full sentences, but like saying like the word or two.
Speak 10 different languages. By the time he's like 4.
So,
What was it again? Would you rather?
Summer.
Oh, yeah.
would you say everything that comes to mind or would you never say anything again?
I couldn't not speak. I'd feel like I'd just have to take the grunt of it and say everything that came to mind, and I think I'd get myself in quite a bit of bother, but oh well.
Quite a
These
bit of
things
bother.
happen, and
Especially for a
lovely.
cause.
yeah.
Especially
Oh my,
for a cause.
oh
Imagine being a
goodness.
presenter. It's like, oh my god, it's like is it Bruce Almighty or Evan? It's Bruce Almighty, innit? Where Jim Carrey just makes Steve Carell like speak whatever he says, and he's on the radio, and he's on TV, not the radio, and he's just speaking about things.
Yeah, that.
That film where
Luca.
Steve Carell speaks about things.
Would you say everything or would you never speak again? You'd never. You would never speak again. That's a double.
Yeah, but I'd rather not speak about everything on my mind.
You'd
so,
rather keep quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, this is this is making history here
Making
today. and,
history. Lee.
goodness me.
See, I'm of the belief that people need to be told certain things, so I would
are.
not want to say anything. So I think like, yeah, no, I definitely have it, so I say everything that comes to mind. Because I normally do anyway, but
Yeah, you normally do.
not as bad, but yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like if your level of like how rude you were being was a 10 in your head, you tone it down to like a 9.5 to what you
Yeah.
actually say to people. So I don't know how much difference it would actually make. What do you think, Max?
I just have to say everything that comes to my mind because I love the sound of my own voice.
People
And
need to be told.
It's true.
I couldn't become a mute. I tried it once when I was in like year 8. I tried to be mute
What,
for
like
the
a
whole day.
24-hour like?
Yeah, like a silence thing. For like, it wasn't even for charity. It
I
was
thought
so
we did that
sad.
for charity.
And it was just like I was just there for the whole day, and I was like, I really want to say something right now. Like something's happened. I'm like, my opinion is needed, but it wasn't needed. Anyway, I think we've discussed that quite a lot.
Yeah.
Ironically, we've discussed that quite a lot. So I'm going to move on to a true or false.
All
All right.
right. Okay.
True or false?
We can't do things, so it's all good.
Yeah, we
Gang.
haven't seen them this week. Huh?
Alcohol improves hand-eye coordination in the long run.
No.
I thought it was just alcohol improves hand-eye coordination. Like, this is a joke.
In the long run.
Well, let me start off with that one by telling everyone that I have been on antibiotics and haven't been able to.
Oh, we have not heard the end of this.
Everyone keeps asking me.
No one's asking you, Luca. You just say something and you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm not because I'm on antibiotics, and then it's just like,
Yeah, because someone's like, why are you not drinking?
2 thumbs up.
No, I'm joking. Go on. Let's actually get on.
Improves hand-eye coordination,
Improves hand-eye coordination.
in the long run. I mean, in the short term, definitely not. In the long, no.
See, it could train you though. It could train you to be like all dodgy-handed, and then. 'cause
So
like,
you're
not
just
living-
used to it.
Adapt to
like
it.
your peak performance, mate.
Peak performance.
Yeah, you just evolve to get used to the shakes and
All
really rubbish hand-eye coordination.
Sounds familiar.
I'm
Um,
going to say false because, I mean, it would be nice if it's true. I mean, because hopefully we can only go up from here. Because I'm as boisterous and like fumbly and like really like rubbish-handed as it is. So if that is true, then I'm on the right path.
On the right
Yeah.
path. Okay, false for Summer. Luca?
I'm not really sure. I mean, so I'm just trying to think biologically how it would give you better hand-eye coordination. Like, your liver would be ruined, so maybe your body's not focusing as much processing power on the liver, so it puts the rest of your brain. So I'm going to say true.
You're going to say true. Okay.
No,
Lee?
wait. It does improve hand-eye coordination.
So you're
false.
saying true?
Yeah, true. Sorry.
Right, Lee?
I mean, I wrote the question, so I know the answer. So it's a bit.
Oh, all right. That's not them. And I can already see it, so it'll be you
What
two.
is it? So it's between me and Luke, and we both. I've
I
gone
think
for
we both think
false.
it's true. Wait, you said
No,
fa-
I
you
said
false.
false.
Oh, sorry. I think true.
Summer?
False. I'm
You
wrong.
got it. You got it right. That's a
Oh,
cheer.
I can't differentiate the boos and the cheers.
Oh, and Luca. Oh, damn.
Didn't hiss that well.
Hiss.
By my own sound effect.
Boo hiss. Boo hiss. Okay. That was a delightful one, and I think we've all learnt something.
I suppose.
I really do.
So it doesn't. So it doesn't improve coordination.
No.
No, we've just discussed it.
Boring. I thought I was getting excited then.
Next one.
Time for a cheeky bit of how does it work?
All right.
Okay.
Bring
so
it back.
we're bringing it back. We've discussed some quite interesting topics this time, so I think it's only in our DNA and in just how we operate. We've got to do a silly one.
Right.
How do ants know what to do?
I just do.
Thoughts?
There's a queen bee. Are there queen ants?
Yeah. Yeah, there are.
Is that what they're called? Queen ants.
I really don't know.
I'm sure there's like a lead. There's an ant
You
leader,
speak
isn't there?
right,
There's,
but-
no, like I'm trying to think about Bug's Life right now. Like my really pulling on my ant knowledge of a Bug's Life. I'm sure there's like a top dog
Oh,
ant.
that's a good film. Top dog ant. Yeah, no, that. I think there's a queen ant because the queen ants are the ones that they can fly. The hive. ant.
Evil.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
I really don't know how ants know what to do. I'm pretty sure while they do have organs and brains and stuff, I think it's just more about chemicals. It's the same as how bacteria know what to do. They just release chemicals and just follow it, I guess. I mean, I don't really see the point because ants are sort of like the only kind of animal that I can think of that willingly act in that, like, you know, the kind of how do I put this properly? Like slaves, really. You know.
Yeah, you don't often get ants on protest, do you? Like no, I'm not doing
No,
that
but I
today.
mean, you never see ants chilling. It's like they're all working so hard,
Chilling.
but for what?
Watch an ant
they
chill.
all just walk and yeah, they just walk.
They are born to provide, aren't they? Like,
Just for their queen.
I guess it may be a case of like as soon as they're old enough to like walk, I guess.
Can ants communicate with each other though?
Yeah, because they do their
Probably,
antenna
yeah.
thing
There
at
you
each
go.
other, don't they?
So
So they're
they
told what to
obviously
do.
Know what to do.
Hmm.
So
They
When
obviously know what
ants
to
have
do.
children,
You
do
heard
they
it
have a
here
lot of
first.
children? Like, or is it
I'm
one
not
ant at a
sure.
time?
I don't really know.
Would you like to find out more?
I
Because
would.
I am imminently about to tell you. So essentially, ants, as we all know them, they form colonies. Okay,
Right.
so colonies, instead of like whatever bees do, they have colonies. And they are grouped into various castes, whatever that means. I'm pretty sure it means types.
Yeah.
Of sterile wingless females, most of
Right.
which are workers. Then there are soldiers,
Okay.
and then there is a queen.
Okay, but does this go for every species of ants? Because you get like green ants, red ants,
There are
blue
horrible
ants.
ones that bite.
Pretty
What ones are
much.
they?
What are the biting ones? Red ants.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
the
Fire
fire,
ants.
fire,
Thank you,
fi-
Lee.
that-
Fire ants.
That is true. What you just said there, that is true.
Soldier ants.
So
Yeah.
are those the ones that carry the crumbs?
The ones that carry the crumbs. Yes. Yes. They are the ones that carry the crumbs, Summer.
And like when they get the crumbs, are they all brought back to be consumed by all of the ants? Like, what is the purpose
I
of
guess so.
these crumbs?
To be honest, I've just pulled up an article about it. I'm not particular.
We need to bring in an ant specialist.
What do they do in a bug's life? They've got like, their little bars and stuff, so I guess they all do that. They go down into their bars and fight off the grasshoppers. Kevin Spacey's one of them.
Kevin Spacey's one of them.
The grasshopper.
Our knowledge of ants is
Um,
we're just going to pull from A Bug's Life that I haven't seen in about 6 years, 7
I don't know,
years maybe.
researched it. I'm pretty sure. I mean,
Brainstorm with me,
how,
Luca.
How do ants work?
So the soldier ants, are they only male?
Yeah, I think that's why I did.
I think so.
Equality.
Well, no,
That
they
is what-
obviously got named before all that.
that
So
is
maybe
what
they're
it
just
is
told
saying.
what to do, like by their mum and dad or whatever, and then they just sort of
They have to like sign up to like be soldiers or workers.
what like they're a
We
union
need you.
Yeah,
in
like,
a
I
union.
reckon there's like SAS ants as well.
I think it's more
Like they
like
have
a
to go
chemical
through a
mix-up.
trial process.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just stuck with what is it, the sterile female ants if they don't make the cut.
I think it's probably like a kind of culture of that they all know that they need to work in this specific way to survive. Because I mean, to be fair, we only ever see ants outside when they're doing their crumbs. You know, we never see
They're doing their crumbs.
when they're doing their crumbs.
When they're doing bits.
When they're doing bits.
The bits of the crumbs.
When they're collecting their crumbs and leaves. Well, you know, we never see inside the anthill. And to be fair, all ants, not to discriminate, but all ants look the same. And so we don't know that the
Whoa.
same ant, like just because we always see ants doing crumbs. What do you? Just because
Right. Okay. I think.
we never see what they're doing in the hill, is what I'm saying. So maybe they're just chilling out in the hill in their little bars and pools and whatever a bug's life says. That's my point.
Thank
Do you think we've ever seen the same ant twice?
No.
Yeah.
On holiday maybe when they're all living on your table.
Sounds like a setup to a really bad
You
joke.
look at one, then look away, and then look back, and you've seen the same one twice.
No, I mean in different occasions. Thank you for being smart.
Yeah, probably. But how do we know? It's like, have you ever seen the same leaf twice?
Well, I'll tell you what. This has all given me some food for thought. And I'm going to leave you with this food for thought whilst we go to a little bit of a tune.
Is it
I will
about
see
ants?
you soon. Yes, it's about
Ant-centric
It's not about
song.
ants. We're going to be listening to a tiny bit of Frank Ocean because I just can't get enough of his song at the moment.
Which one?
You'll see. This is Provider
Yes.
by Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
This is the What If Show on UOP Victory Radio. We'll be back.
Hello, we are back with the What If podcast, and again, this show has absolutely flown this week, but we
Indeed.
are going to end on another What If. So let's go with what if you... Is that the same one? What if you were king or queen of the world? That's probably not the one you were pointing at, was it?
No, but that one's a good one.
What if you were king or queen
Thinking.
of the world? So if you woke up tomorrow and they just went, Max Eagle, Max Eagle, Luca Tamayo, and Lee Parmenter, you would be king of the world, obviously individually.
Oh, there's three of us. Dream team. Well,
Dream team.
very happy. Love the power.
I'd be bored. I don't care.
But would you have? Would it be like our monarchy now, like where you don't really have any power? It's
Yeah,
just,
true.
like, it's just like a meme, or is it like
Oh, gosh.
you
Oh.
give out all the power and you're like you can just do whatever you want?
I think it would have to be like as the monarchy as it stands at the moment. I think the Queen does have actual like power. She's not just a tourist attraction.
Just pass laws.
She doesn't have much power.
She doesn't have a lot,
At
but
all.
she can, like,
Yeah.
if, like, the Prime Minister's doing something stupid, she can be like, nah, mate,
Yeah.
stop it.
I just would not be bothered for that. I'd wake up, look at my phone, and be, oh, really?
Snooze.
I don't want to.
How many emails?
No,
Oh.
no, thank you.
I mean, I'm having that at the moment, just getting constantly bombarded with emails, so...
busy, by the way.
Max is very busy, but
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
very
he doesn't
busy.
stop banging on about it.
I'm a very busy man.
yeah, I was
so-
on antibiotics, by the way, so I couldn't drink.
Were you? Really?
I think
didn't
it's a
realise.
lot of pressure. Like, I think for the four of us in particular, we'd have to change a lot of our mannerisms and the way we behaved. Which
No,
Oh,
we wouldn't
dear.
be the king of the world.
no, but it has to be suited to like the tradition of being like a king or queen. Like you'd be a royal, so you have to fit to their values, don't you? And like the whole curtsying and being polite, and I assume like lack of swearing, unless you're King Charles.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And what is it? Because I read something about, obviously, because Meghan Markle's now going to be a royal. There's certain foods you can't eat as well. Like, there's some really odd rules of, like, royals that you can't follow.
Yeah, that's very
Like-
true.
Something like, I think one of them was the Queen, once the Queen's finished eating, so has everyone else. Like, I wouldn't want to be, like, determined as to when someone's finished eating and when they haven't. I'd be like,
Oh.
no.
That's rather odd. Yeah, I'd just be like, eat, don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I don't care.
When I imagined king of the world, I thought we were talking like dictator, like overlord of the world, not like an actual royal.
Oh.
Who cares? Who cares? Oh my god, sorry. If you're the king, if you're like the queen, I mean, the queen may as well be queen of the world. She's the queen of so many commonwealths.
Exactly.
She didn't do anything. So if you was queen of the world, you just wouldn't do anything. God, I thought that was a really cool question. Like if you literally were a dictator and led the world, you were in charge of everything, and
Calm
everyone
down,
did what you
arsehole.
said.
How would you
All
have
right,
You wrote
then.
the question.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping on your toes. I'm just saying that's what I thought it would be like. If you're king of the world, you just be the king, I guess. Never want to be like, oh, it's that guy that's king of every country for some reason. I guess world peace exists in this place.
Oh yeah, because I think the Queen's that would just be like, oh, that's just Elizabeth, isn't it? Like, I do think she has like some form of like respect and power. Do you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
think of her as a
definitely.
nobody. Like,
But when you say king of the world, I just pictured that everyone does what I say, and I thought that's why I can't be bothered. If I just had to do what the Queen does, like, obviously I'm not saying the Queen doesn't do anything, but like I reckon I'd do that. Yeah, but then I wouldn't want to change my lifestyle. Or if they made me do it, I'd just sit in my room and do my normal things until they either took it from me or allowed me to live my normal life while still being king of the world.
just
Wow.
throwing the towel.
Throw
I
the
can't be
towel
bothered.
now, mate. What
would
is
you
it?
change?
Oh.
Oh.
What would Max Eagle do right now? If he was king, queen, sorry. If Max Eagle was queen of the world.
Queen.
What would he do?
Queen.
One thing you change, go.
Are we talking about being a dictator now, not a
Yeah,
royal?
so you
Okay.
can do anything.
Okay. Being a royal, what would I change? Or I'd change like the things on post boxes. That's pretty much they can change, isn't it?
The stamps.
The stamps. What would I change? Oh,
It's a really hard one. I'm
that's
trying to think.
yeah. If you had autonomous power of the entire world, what would you change? Oh, I'd change things like I'd make sure that like all countries are treating their like people fairly, like North Korea and stuff. Like I'd make sure, I'd make sure all that was sound.
Yeah, make sure it's all right.
Make sure it was all right.
I find it really funny that was your answer because I was thinking of my answer and it's like yours was like making sure people will live in that and make sure that everyone's okay. Mine was at Southend get the team to actually build a new stadium. If I was king of the world, the first thing I would do would make Southend United build their new stadium. And I felt really, Max is all about make sure everyone's being looked after and equality exists and there's no negligence to people. And I'm like, God, I just want my local team to have their stadium built.
Well, yeah, you're having that power. I mean, I'd love a unlimited black card for every single nightclub in Portsmouth, but I'm thinking of other people
Well,
that like.
So am I. Southend fans.
You're thinking of other Southend. Wow.
Go on, Lee. What would you
Southend
change?
Council, if you're listening.
See, I've got to be careful what I say, ain't I? So
Oh, goodness.
if I could have what I really wanted,
thing would you change?
the world would be different. I don't know. I mean,
Ultimatum.
I can't think of like one thing. Like, what would I change?
I'd make it
first?
so like all the countries like get their own. They get to like they make their own laws and that. They get to do what they want.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's nice, isn't it?
But then you'd get so much conflict between different countries about what was right and wrong. I think that just caused more war, wouldn't it?
That's what happens at the moment.
Just say there's no wars allowed and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Not
if
allowed
you
to go to war.
go to prison if you make war.
Yeah, I think I'd go down the same track as Max. Like, make sure everyone's treated fairly.
Make sure everyone's
Nah.
alright.
That's boring.
Do you know what I mean? Make sure everyone's alright. It's just nice,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? Looking out for the fellow beings of
Looking
the
out
earth.
for the little guys.
Bring
Free
taxes
Gregs,
down.
Free
I
Gregs
know.
for everyone.
Make
Yeah.
Make everything free.
Make global warming stop.
Yeah, but you can't do that. That's so out of your control.
That doesn't exist, mate. I'm joking, it does.
Go, cheers.
Sorry, I don't want the listeners to think that I'm a global
Thanks, Al
warming
Gore.
denier.
Yeah, but
Thanks,
some
Al
people
Gore.
say like global warming is a conspiracy theory, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, Because, or is it global warming, or is it just the way like the world cycles round, like, you know, through like the ice age and then the ice melts, then ice ages
it's
again,
just
like
pollution in the atmosphere and damage to the ozone layer and that.
Oh yeah, I believe that as well.
Scientific
But
facts,
Oh yeah, all
think,
that.
you know.
Yeah.
some people are like, no, it's not happening. But the ozone is actually closing back over.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, that's straight to the point. I
There we
think.
are. You think?
I think. No, I'm saying. I think. As people, I just generally think.
You generally think?
think I
So do
breathe.
I. I think too.
What's the phrase? I
Do you
live,
wanna
I
chat about
breathe,
it?
I sleep.
I eat.
I eat,
Oh, that's good fun. Inside
I
jokes.
shower, I eat,
Inside,
I sleep.
inside jokes.
Any of you listeners who aren't our friends, that was an inside joke that you don't know about.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Bye.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for listening.
We've managed to get through another week of What If.
We have. We will see you
Next
week.
Oh, I thought we were like finishing each other's sentences.
I'm Max.
I'm Summer.
I'm Luca.
And I'm Lee.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.